The NBA Finals. Two teams left standing. A smothering defense against a lighted-up offense. The descendants of the 80s bad boys against the descendants of Showtime. Great individual matchups. Two strategic masterminds. The renewal of a rivalry. A team that contests every possession against a team designed to win this title. It's the NBA Finals. Game 1.
I got 24 seconds to live, and 200% is what I'm gonna give. So I push through the pain and raise my game. A victory is the only thing to gain. Even though I'm playing the game, I ain't playing. The trophy is the reason why I came. Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Staples Center in Los Angeles, home of the Lakers since the 99-2000 season. As we get ready for Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the Detroit Pistons against the Los Angeles Lakers. Showtime. Magic Johnson is here. Some of the old Piston bad boys. Let's take a look right now at the Bud Light starting lineups. Phillips and Hamilton in the backcourt for Detroit. Prince, and then the unrelated Wallaces. Rasheed, who came over from Atlanta via Portland, of course. And then Ben Wallace in the middle with Payton and Bryant, George and Malone and O'Neal for the Lakers. Four of those guys, everybody but George, will clearly be going into the Hall of Fame someday. And now the ceremonial opening tip with Magic in the middle. James Worthy, former Laker, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar flanking Magic. And the opening ceremonial tip is taken by Shaq. Well, it's L.A. You got to give it to the home team, right?
He threw it that way.
So here we go with Joe Crawford, Bernie Fryer, and Bob Delaney as the officials tonight. Gary Payton, who came from Seattle and then Milwaukee last year, big pay cut to win a championship. Karl Malone to win a championship. Kobe now tries to win his 4th championship, as does Shaquille O'Neal. Joe Crawford will send it skyward, and at 10 minutes past 6 in Los Angeles, the NBA Finals get underway, but Shaq was whistled by Bernie Fryer from the side, prematurely going up for the tip.
They believe Rip Hamilton would score. They need Rasheed Wallace to score, and they need Chauncey Billups to score points.
Here's Malone on a fadeaway, but O'Neal is there for the putback over Ben Wallace. Missing the layup, sought the foul, didn't get it. Wallace missed the putback, and now the Lakers outside. Inside now to Shaq, and then Wallace tried to steal it. He came around, he tried to wrap his way around to steal it, and Shaq goes to the basket and gets fouled.
Well, that's what Larry Brown doesn't want. He wants, you're either going to front Shaquille O'Neal or you're going to stand behind him, and you have to keep the basket in between you and him. If you go for a steal and don't get it on Shaq, it's usually a dunk, and in this case, it's a three-point opportunity, and not only that, one of the Pistons, Rasheed Wallace, picks up another foul. Larry Brown does not want, of all the guys on the floor of the bigs, Rasheed Wallace getting in foul trouble. Billups is a strong point guard, and it also takes Derek Fisher off the floor at times as well.
In their only 2 regular season meetings, as Shaq gets fouled again.
Nothing as long as he's putting the ball in the basket. I asked Rip
score, trying to run the team as a scoring point guard.
5 minutes into the game, all of the Laker points have been scored by O'Neal.
Here's another one.
And he keeps that alive with 2 more. Campbell has come into the game as Detroit makes its first switch. The Pistons have started the same starting 5 in all 18 playoff games. Bryant. And the Lakers finally get a basket from somebody other than Shaquille. Yeah, I mean, Larry Brown is a guy who loves practice more than the games, and he's got a guy going, practice?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hardly a match made in heaven.
You know, every single player on the Pistons team, they all say this: you got to play the game the right way, because that's what Larry Brown says every single day.
Malone missing, but Shaquille is there for the offensive board. Puts it up and drops it and gets fouled. So the game is tied, and Shaquille O'Neal has 10 points in the first 7 minutes and 43 seconds.
Well, again, offensive rebounds. Every time a guy dribble penetrates, if they help, Shaq gets the rebound. If Shaq gets deep to the bucket, it's very difficult to stop him. Turnovers. He knows that the Detroit Pistons can score off of turnovers, and he also knows if they get to that number, that the Pistons think that 90 number. This, you know, and I said it earlier, the Lakers should play at 3 p.m. with the other soap operas.
Under a minute to play, opening period. And Bryant with the steal. Keeps it inbounds, drives, scores. And steal now.
Well, this is more of a careless pass, Al. I mean, you could see Kobe sneaking up before the pass was even thrown. So, pretty easy steal. Not an easy basket that he makes. Kobe Bryant makes the toughest shots look so simple at times.
Ben Wallace is a Shaq-like free throw shooter.
You know, it's very interesting, Al, because talking to the Piston coaches, that's the one thing they kept saying is that we're going to get our shots. We didn't get our shots in the Indiana. And the one thing that Phil Jackson has said all year is there's one area that he's disappointed in is their defense. And their defense will be tested in this series.
They got a little better when they had 2 minutes into the second quarter. O'Neal, and again he'll go to the free throw line.
But again, that's Corliss Williamson. So, you know, we talked about 4 guys they can put on him. Corliss Williamson is the 5th guy that they're going to use his fouls also. The one thing Detroit has an advantage on, they are extremely deep. And they're going to use fouls every time Shaq gets close. So this is not Hack-a-Shaq. This is Hack-Shaq when he gets close to a bucket that you know he's going to score on.
Shaquille O'Neal with 12 points. He has scored 25 or more points in 19 games that he has played in the NBA Finals. Clock now as they inbound. And then the following year they met again, and Detroit swept Los Angeles. O'Neal. 28-27. The Lakers' dominant man tonight has been Shaquille O'Neal with 15 points. Chauncey Billups, the leading scorer for Detroit, with 8. Game 1 tonight. Game 2 here Tuesday, and then it's on to Detroit for 3. O'Neal foul.
You know, you look at that move right there, and you look at Shaquille O'Neal and the size, and what is he reported as what he weighs now? 360?
340, I think.
Well, he weighs more than any of those. But what no one talks about is his athleticism and his quickness. I mean, that move he made shouldn't be able to be done by a guy the size of him. But he can do it.
And probably can't be appreciated because he is such a monster.
He is. He is a big man.
5 and 9 now from the free throw line.
You know, I know hitting Pedro is very difficult, Al, but I think guarding Shaq is pretty tough also.
I would put that in the top 10. Devin George, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Kobe, and O'Neal are the Laker 5 on the floor right now. Prince, Hamilton, Billups has come back. See a healthy dose of Shaq, and he wasn't lying. It's like castor oil for the Pistons.
No, he knows that's a matchup that Detroit cannot handle, and the Lakers have gone to him almost exclusively every possession. And when you look at it, where he's caught the ball, most of them have been dunks, and Larry Brown doesn't want that. Look at the fouls already. He's drawn 4 fouls already from the bigs of Detroit. That means they have 20 fouls left.
Wallace over to Campbell. Malone gets the rebound, but the quick hands of Hamilton. He still can't get possession for Detroit, though, as Kobe swings it over to a wide-open George for 3. 31 all. Dick Vermeil won a Super Bowl at age 63. Scotty Bowman won a Stanley Cup at 68. A whistle here.
You need that experience, and I think the older coaches is the same way. The things that stand out to me from both of them, they're both communicating.
1-1, you go back and forth. In the finals, 2 at home, 3 on the road, and then 2 at home if there was a 6th and 7th game. It would seem to me as Payton steals it, and he has Kobe out in front, and the Lakers take the lead. Tied the game. 2:40 to go in the first half. Payton into Malone. into Shaq, and Shaq puts it in. Throw line. 28 points now. 28 of the Lakers' 37 points from the two big guys, and Malone and Payton still haven't scored.
Well, you knew coming into this series that there was no answer from Shaq. Well, the Lakers have already proven that there is no answer for Shaq. This half is how you close out the half. Detroit wants to try to close this half out with the score at where it's at, or even take a lead.
And this is much more about us than it is about Detroit. Way too much dribbling, not enough passing.
Predicated on ball movement, not dribble movement. And if you watch the Lakers thus far in this half, it's all been
for the two attempt. Doesn't get that. Malone comes up with the ball. Now the Lakers should move it back outside because they can run the clock just about all the way down. But Bryant will take it there anyway. I would least expect from Wallace at this point.
Yeah, and they have the ball. So they're going to take the last shot. And what Larry Brown is saying is we're going to spread the floor with Rasheed. He's not going to be involved until the last second. So really tough for him to get a foul.
Hamilton drives on Bryant, and then Kobe rejects it. Hamilton saves it from going out of bounds, and then a double dribble. Great defense. You know, the thing about Bryant, if you're a casual basketball fan, you know about Kobe. You know about Kobe in more ways than you care to know. But you think of him on the basketball floor as an offensive guy. He's also a tremendous defender.
He really is. And one thing that should be of note, you know, no one really wants to guard Rip Hamilton, but Kobe Bryant said in practice this week, and he asked Phil Jackson, please put me on him. I can guard him. And he's done a great job in the first half so far of guarding Rip Hamilton.
Hamilton is 1 for 6 being guarded by Bryant and has turned the ball over 5 times. Fisher, final shot of the half.
That was not a foul.
Here's Michelle.
All right, with Kobe Bryant. Kobe, you said coming into this game, one of the concerns was your lack of familiarity with the Pistons. What did you learn in this first half?
Well, you know, we're still trying to get a feel for their rhythm. You know, it's the first time we really played them, so it's kind of like two heavyweight boxers filling each other out.
And you and Rip are part of that. You know Rip from high school. You played against him here in the pros. How hard is he making you work on defense?
He's making me work. But, you know, then again, being a professional athlete, you know, if you're not in condition to run and play for 48 minutes, then you shouldn't be out there.
And what are they doing defensively that's making it tough for you guys to execute?
You know, we're just not familiar with what they're trying to do defensively. You know, it's a matter of us becoming more familiar with their tactics and their strategy, and then trying to adjust.
Kobe, thanks for stopping.
My pleasure.
Back it to you, Al.
Staples Center, the Lakers on top 41-40. Shaquille O'Neal with 20 points. Kobe Bryant has 12. And Doc, one of the things people were talking about coming into the series is Kobe Bryant, Rip Hamilton. And that's been pretty one-sided to this point, at least for the first half.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, and what they were talking about was if Kobe could guard Rip Hamilton, and he's done a terrific job. He has chased him all around the court. You know, we said it in the opening that Rip Hamilton fashions himself as the best conditioned athlete in basketball. And my point is, if he is number 1, then Kobe's 1A, because Kobe is a great athlete who is also in great condition. So they're getting now.
Every shot almost literally contested in the 6 games against the Indiana Pacers. 7 lead changes, 9 ties, and Detroit with the biggest lead in 5 as Kobe Bryant gracefully puts one in to make it a 2-point game. Lakers undefeated at home in the playoffs, 9-0, but they've had some close calls, including the other night when they trailed in the second half to Minnesota as Bryant drives to the hoop.
But they want him to be aggressive, and I like what Larry Brown is doing with Ben Wallace. He's telling him if you're open, make yourself a threat and take the shot. 5
points for him, and Gary Payton drops it. So that the Lakers have made this crowd nervous for 6 months. Hamilton has it knocked down by Bryant. O'Neal collects it.
Before the game, everybody knows about the guy's defense, but he said he's been working on that 15-foot jump shot. And I said to him, well, can you hit it? And he said, you ain't seen it? You'll see it. He hasn't airballs a 15-footer, but he's also hit a 15-footer. And he said, here's the deal. Even if I miss the first couple of shots, because Shaq's going to give me that shot, I still got to keep taking it to make sure he comes out and D's me up, guys.
Did he check with Larry?
No, I can guarantee you that. You know, it's funny. He's going to keep taking it. And he can keep making it, but Shaq's still not coming out.
Underneath, Malone finally scores. Ben Wallace. And there's what Stewart was talking about.
Man, that's what I was talking about.
Sort of. Well, that was a 16-footer. O'Neal. Slam dunk.
On himself. But again, Shaquille O'Neal has gotten the ball deep all night, and that's the third time the Pistons have tried to go for it.
So Gary has to come out with 5. 6-point Detroit lead. Bryant to O'Neal. Another slam.
Billups pretty soon, because Rip Hamilton is off the floor.
Bryant off the glass. So let me ask you this, in light of the infraction.
Yeah, he was trying to kick the ball to give him some time to get off the floor.
Medvedenko into O'Neal now. 8-point lead. And Shaq banks it in. Spurs came back and won the next 4, and then took Minnesota, the #1 seed in the West, out in 6 games. Lakers now down by 13, and Bryant starts to come back.
Those numbers are so amazing. They're just dominant numbers.
Eight and a half left. They work inside again to O'Neal, and Shaq banks it in. So Shaquille O'Neal, who has scored 25 or more now in 20 straight finals games, tying Michael Jordan's mark, has 28 points tonight.
Yeah, and right now, it's been Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal all evening, and that's what the Pistons said it would be.
Williamson misses the jam, but Hamilton is there, has that one blocked.
I don't think there is a way to guard Shaq.
Foul on Williamson. They reset the shot clock at 14. Bryant off balance. O'Neal is there. Gets the bounce. Joey Crawford whistling a foul here on Detroit.
I mean, this is the downside of putting a smaller guy on Shaquille O'Neal. A long rebound, he can just reach over you like he does and score. Shaq has been very active this evening. And second shots.
Point well taken. Detroit and San Antonio tied for the fewest points allowed in the league this year. The Lakers are able to get by San Antonio, but now in jeopardy of losing game 1 to the Pistons. Shaquille got free enough. Billups has it taken away by Fisher. Kobe. And as Kobe is so adept at doing, it's that fake, and then he gets the foul, and the foul here is on Prince.
Well, you have to honor the fake because he can shoot. You know, if that was a non-shooter making this ball fake, you wouldn't honor it. But because Kobe Bryant is such a great shooter, you have to honor it. He is so good with his footwork.
This is, believe it or not, the Lakers' first free throw attempt of the half.
Well, not.
I mean big.
That was big.
77-68. A little over 4 to play.
Look at this. One-on-one coverage.
Over Ben Wallace.
Yeah, they're going to live with that.
With a loss tonight in that same relative position, because Detroit will, among other things, rest home court advantage. Bryant from way outside. Bryant again. That's a 3. By about a dozen. What were those odds?
Well, I like what Larry Brown decided to do. Kobe Bryant and Shaq, you score. We're going to defend you, but you can score. We're not going to help, but we're going to shut everybody else down. And that's exactly what the Detroit Pistons did. And now we're no longer talking about bad offense. We're talking about great Detroit Piston defense.